Okay, this is going great. Now we have 1 more hour and 15 minutes. We promise we're going to be ending at the right time. We're going to be doing this as Baptist prophets, AME prophets. I have a vision that we'll be able to take the prophets so that prophets don't only operate in low church but also in high church.
Wow.
Because right now we are low church prophets. You just, whatever, right? That's why they don't have a place for you in the liturgy, because you don't know how to act. Mm-hmm. So we want to begin to create.
Hey, that's good.
We want to create a way of being, but you got to first understand time. You know, if they tell you have 2 minutes, you are wrapping your word up, and at 1 minute and 59 say the Lord. Boom, boom. And we've got to begin to understand how the flow of that. We just did Prophet Caleb here. Where's he at? He's maybe in the back playing with his wife. So his wife, he's just been married 4 days now, I think. Right? He's here. I told him, so you go on your honeymoon? He said, no, I'm coming to the. My wife and I just looked at each other and said, we really want you to have a marriage. Go. He says, we'll go on our honeymoon when this is over. I said, okay. The point I want to make is that at his wedding, he requested the prophetic word. So he had Apostle Furlow, Apostle Furlow, come in, bring the word, Prophetess Francina Norman, right? And my wife and I. And they had the mic there, and he put it in the program, the word of the Lord, at a wedding.
Yes.
When at the naming, a new name of a bride, how dare you have a wedding without a prophetic word? Shouldn't there be a word about your future?
Yes.
Shouldn't God want to talk at the declaration of this new union?
And in the wedding covenant, there's been a place set aside for that. If anyone knows why this should not take place, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. Then no one ever says anything.
So he had the word of the Lord. At our church, we prophesy over babies at baby dedications.
There he goes.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah. So, Prophet Caleb, you had the prophetic word at your wedding. Why is that? It's on.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay, excellent. Bless you, Archbishop. Bless you, Bishop Bloomer. I had the word of the Lord at my wedding because I believe that the prophetic should be incorporated into everything. And so whether it's a prophetic, there's direction, and the future becomes, a prophecy creates a future. And so a future is created for my wife and I through the word of prophecy. So,
amen. But you want to know why they haven't invited you to the weddings? Because you be saying, this is not me, this is not me. You be yelling from the, this is not me, saith the Lord. I mean, you really like, y'all have done a real job on this whole thing with the prophetic, and then the preachers didn't know how to really handle it. But you see, but it needs to be, we've seen prophecies at funerals. And that sometimes a word is spoken that kind of brings a calm and helps settle the grief. And so this is an opportune time for the church to be the church and let the voice of God be sounded through the church. Amen. Well, we're going to bring up the next panel, Bishop Bloomer. And I believe the next panel is Prophet Joshua. Is he the next? Come on, Larry Reed. Come on, you need to introduce this. I hope you got your team together.
All right, our next panel is going to be done by Prophet Joshua Jordan, which is the son of the master prophet. So this should be really, really good. Okay, the name of this panel is The Prophet and in the Community and Activism. The panel will, of course, be our Archbishop Bernard Jordan and also Bishop Bloomer. But also on this panel, we're supposed to be, is Bishop Luther Blackwell still here?
Oh, that's if I was trying to clear him from downstairs. He got he got Bishop Luther
Okay,
Blackwell in there.
Prophetess Marcia Morrison, and then we're gonna need two more.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Prophet Joshua.
you're gonna change stuff. Okay, while he's doing that, let me say this.
This is what happens when you let millennials lead. We're gonna watch their leadership.
Wait.
This. Go ahead.
Oh Lord. Okay.
This is what happens when you let millennials and Larry Reed lead.
Okay,
The
listen.
Larry.
Y'all see how you
This
doing,
is
right?
your whole segment.
Look, that's all right, fine. But when you on my show, just look out. Okay. I forgot to tell you guys this though, and this is my fault. I wasn't at the 9 o'clock meeting. Remember he said that, so I messed this all up. Everybody who has a Twitter account. Okay, everybody who has a Twitter account, I need for you to tweet at Prophetic College using 1C, and then for your hashtagging on social media, use hashtag the Prophetic College. So everybody who's on social media, before we get into this segment, take your phone out and go ahead and do that, and let everybody know that you are here. All right.
All right, thank you so much. And so for our panel, we have Prophetess Marcia Morrison. Let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise. We have Prophet Ricardo Brown. Let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise. We have our very own Bishop Bloomer on our board. God bless you. Let's give the Lord a hand clap of praise. We have one of my classmates at VUU, Prophet Trevor Walker. God bless you. Come on, let's give him a hand clap of praise. And that's it for our panel. And this segment, we're going to be talking about the prophet and the community and activism. And it's going to be a blessing. So let's go ahead and get started, as we have questions that we want to ask. And the first question is, can the prophet's role exist without the community?
To answer that, absolutely not. Jesus, from the very time that he came on the scene, he was always in the community. And I think it is important that every prophet finds their place in the community. And I'm going to get in a lot of trouble, but
Only if you say you're a prophet.
only the issue that I have is when you find prophets that are so heavenly minded that they're absolutely no earthly good. No one can talk to you, no one can shake your hand, no one can love on you, you can't love on them. To me, it doesn't make any sense, because Jesus always found himself, though yes, he was taken away, but nonetheless, he always found himself in the mix of the people to be able to serve the people.
Amen. Thank you.
If I could ask, I think from the last panel, we were talking about definitions and standardizing what do we mean by community. We have multiple communities, right? We have the community as it relates to our neighborhood environment, right? When it comes to jurisdictions. But then we have other communities, right? We have communities of engineers. We have communities of doctors. We have communities of psychologists and psychiatrists. We have communities of other kinds of scientists. And as a matter of fact, I started a community of practice when I worked for Merck and another company, and it was a community for those who were licensed and certified in Six Sigma, right? Training Six Sigma engineering, and when it comes to setting up systems for companies and at which levels you would actually operate. So I actually helped define what those curriculums would look like. So usually when we hear community, we're thinking out there, right? We're thinking YMCA, we're thinking after school programs. So with that said, a community is a common unity, or a commune, if you will, of people of like discipline, like interest, like passion, like expertise, like background. And so with that said, prophets are called to these communities. right? They're called to these communities, and it depends on how God has gifted you, how He's assigned you. And so, therefore, every community of practice or function should and is designed to have prophets that would bring the light of God into those particular spheres.